Right, so in the box I have the easy disc cover itself. We also have this here, which is the wheel protection. We also have these very fancy, to go with my black and yellow bike, yellow swirls. And then finally we have a bag here which I believe has the zip ties and the disc bolts. So these are all that you need to put the disc cover on the wheel that you've got. A few tools as well, probably useful to go through those. We have cable cutters or snips, you could use scissors as well, it's just for cutting the zip ties, a chain whip, a lock ring tool, and then we also have a lint-free cloth and some intensive tar remover, but basically anything that you've got which is going to take any dirt off of the surface of the wheel before you put these stickers on, because you don't really want them coming off. Okay, so first things first, I think if you've got some of these, you're lucky enough to have yourself some custom decals. We're going to get the cover out and get the decals on. So these decals, they use the same technology that if you see cars where they're like chromed or looking pretty cool with a wrap on it, this is the same stuff basically. So it's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So that is one of the decals on, one half done, other half a bit boring, so we'll just magic that on now. And there we go, easy as that. So 2 halves completed. Next step now is taking the cassette off my wheel and then attaching the covers. Okay, so the wheels are ready to go now, cassette off, and we need to just get this cleaned up and stick it up so that when we put the easy disc on, it's not going to scratch it and the stickers aren't going to come loose. So this is where the tar remover, or if you have, I think isopropyl alcohol is the normal thing to use. You've got something like that you can use for this, comes in handy, just gets any residue off of the wheel before you put the stickers down, because otherwise they won't stick very well. And then next step we have is applying these protective stickers onto the rim. Okay, so we've got the protection on now. There's one bit left over just in case you make a mess. The next step is putting the disc cover onto the wheel. So there's a few things to make sure of here. So the first thing you have to make sure of when you put this on is that the hole here, that lines up with the valve. There it is. So you need that obviously lined up. Okay, so once you've lined the valve up, you've got the disc in the placement where you want it centrally. You then hold it in place using a little bit of just electrical tape so that while you're doing the next step it doesn't go anywhere. So getting the easy disc cover as centered as possible on the wheel is very important. You can use a ruler during the fitting process to make sure the edge of the disc cover is in the same place relative to the rim the whole way around the wheel. Okay, so we've got the disc cover held down now, so it shouldn't go anywhere. And we're going to start off putting the cable ties in. Now it's important that you get the bigger end of the cable tie, that sits on the inside of the disc wheel. So we turn it around. Yeah, turn it around, and then so what we're looking to do is put the zip tie through one of these holes, round a spoke, poke it back through on the other side of the spoke, and then put that in place. Now we're only going to tighten these down loosely to begin with, just to make sure we have got them in the right areas. So yeah, we're looking to get about 4 of these in on the absolute minimum, but ideally you probably want more like 5 or 6 or even more if you can. There's plenty of holes, so anything you can to get it more secure is perfect. Okay, so we've got all the cable ties in place now. Managed to get 6 of them in, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. So it's nice and secure. What you want to do now, before you cut the end off the cable ties and before you secure it in place, just check that you're happy with where it's placed so that it's nice and central, exactly where you want it to be, because that's important. Tighten them up properly and then cut the ends off, but when you cut the ends off, make sure you give yourself, don't cut it all the way to the base. Leave about 10 mil on there. It's not going to be rattling around, so there's really no need to cut it down all the way to the base. Final thing to do is grab the other half, here's one I made earlier, and put that into place. And then once you've got that in place roughly, so what we're looking to do is line up the holes with the other side of the disc cover. You've then got these binding screws, and you feed one half through this side and join it up with the other half on the other side. Okay, there we go. So that's all of the binding screws in place, and the Easy Disc is installed. That's pretty straightforward. I'm really liking the look of these yellow decals. The last thing to do now is just pop the cassette back on, complete the look, and there we go. One Easy Disc in place with cassette. Okay, so Easy Disc in the bike. Last few finishing touches before we head out and ride. So first things first, we have an extra layer of tape that goes between the Easy Disc and the wheel. What this does is it smooths over the edge, makes it a little bit more aerodynamic. And then finally, we have the valve hole cover. We just put a nice little Easy Disc sticker over that, and then you're ready to go out and smash it.